Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another day of Color Craze, which is a series MK and I are doing throughout the month of October. And this is the color palette that we have chosen for today. That is what we do. We choose a color palette and run with it. And then I'm playing along with series 16 of 30 Days of Sketches from Christie's Beautiful Life. This is the sketch. It is from Stella Harris, and it was designed specifically for this round of 30 Days of Sketches, which is all double pages, but I am going to use it as a single page. I'm just using the left-hand side of it instead of the whole thing. And I am also playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem, which required some fall colors, which is great because our color palette has fall colors in it, and some ink and some stamps. So here's my ink. I am using some Shea Butter ink from Catherine Pooler. I have pulled out this piece of paper from 49 in Market Orchard something Orchard. Oh my goodness. Actually, that's from Crafty Garden, and a couple of the embellishments will be from Vintage Orchard, which is what I'm picking up right now. So I'm going to use a couple of rub-ons from Vintage Orchard and a couple of the embellishments. But the background paper to the right hand side there is the Crafty Garden paper, and it pretty much has all the colors from our color palette in it. The orange is a little bit more yellow in this color palette, but I am going to bring in kind of this reddish orange that is in the Vintage Orchard collection to kind of give the layout a more orangey feel. And so that's what you see me doing here. It's this reddish orange or orangish red. It's kind of a deep orange. So that's what I'm going with, and I like it. I think it's going to look good, so we're going to go with it. I did pull out the acetate ephemera from that same collection, the Orchard collection, not Crafty Garden, and I am pulling in some leaves and such from this collection, or at least I think I'm going to. I do end up actually pulling out some of the stuff from the Spectrum Sherbert collection and using that because the orange is a little bit lighter. It's a little closer to what's in the color palette that we chose instead of the deeper orange. So I don't end up using the flowers up on the right hand side, but I do end up using these orange leaves, which I think really kind of makes it feel more like the color palette that we chose. So I also completely omitted the turquoise that is in the color palette, but I am using the green and brown. So overall it kind of feels the same, and I really like it. It's just a little bit more toned down than what the color palette actually had on it, but I think that's okay. You know, the color palette is supposed to inspire us and inspire us to use a similar or the same color palette, and this one is got the browns in it for sure. I'm bringing in the orange, and it doesn't really have the same color green. I'm using kind of a darker green, more of a sage type green than the green that's in the palette, but I think that's okay too. So here's my stamping that I'm using for Mixed Media Mayhem. This is just a small text stamp from Prima. It's really old, been in my stash a while. It's one of my go-to stamps. Just great to have a text stamp in your stash that is flexible and easy to use. And by flexible, I mean like you can bend it and stuff. Some of the larger background stamps that are the red rubber ones, it's harder to do that. I like it to be a little bit flexible so I don't get any harsh lines. You can also ink it up so that you don't have harsh lines, and that works as well. So I just wanted those to kind of be in the background to look like it has some texture to the background, and I'm liking how that's looking. I did go ahead and use those rub-ons like I mentioned in the corners, and I think that's going to look good. It's going to draw your eye kind of diagonally across this layout, which I do a lot of diagonal layouts. I really like them. But to me, they don't ever look the same. So hopefully you don't get bored of them. But this one really kind of lends itself to that because I'm going to actually go ahead and do that banner that's up in the upper left-hand corner. And I'm not really doing an embellishment in the bottom left-hand corner because I'm only doing one page, I'm bringing that embellishment across to the right hand area rather than the left hand area. If you're curious about these boxes, this is not the first time I've shown these boxes on camera, but I have my 49 and Market stuff, kind of my leftover ephemera, in those bins sorted by collection, because that tends to be a color palette in and of itself. And so those are iris bins on Amazon, and I have a link for those down below in the Amazon section if that's something that you're interested in. They do fit 12-inch long pieces, or slightly less, maybe slightly less than 12-inch pieces, because I know my 49 and Market borders that are really long fit in there. So you probably could fit, it's got to be at least 12 inches. Anyway, you can always fit them in diagonal if it's not 100% 12 inches. I have to go back and look at and measure them to see, or look at the listing to see for sure what they are, but they fit everything great, and they stack nice, and they're pretty good quality. So I do recommend them. And I bought them in a 10 pack. I thought there were a dozen, but there's 10. So you can get them in less than that as well, but that's what I chose, and I really like them. So I'm going to use this piece that says Family, which is definitely a darker, deeper orangey color. And then I'm using this rub-on that says All Together. And you're not going to be able to see the rub-on really clearly at the end of the day, but if you really look, it is there. And I am using some spare parts. These are really old. They've been in my stash a while, but they're from Hobby Lobby. It's just the plain white banner pieces. But I'm going to use some of the Spectrum Sherbet orange rub-ons to go ahead and put those down on to the banner pieces to give some different textures and looks to the banner pieces. Now I have taken my rub-ons and just put them all together. So these are not just one pack of rub-ons. I do think that the two that I have out right here are one pack. But the rest of them that you see off to the side there are from different packs. There's a turquoise one that is from the 49 and Market Spectrum Sherbet, but the Tidal Wave side of things, and these are from the Strawberry Lemonade side of things. And then the wordy ones that you see to the side are from the card kit, and then I've got other ones in there at the as well. So they do stay all with their collections until I've run out of paper, or have used their collection, you know, as much as I think as a collection. Maybe there's one or two pieces of paper left that I've filtered back into my stash. And so then my rub-ons just all get put together, and that's really useful for me, because when I'm pulling out rub-ons to use on something, I will kind of flip through all of them and see if there's something else that I want to use. So that works for me rather than putting them in, like, say, a color bin. Also with rub-ons, you know, if the page gets separated from its backer, you get rub-ons on everything. So you really don't want to just dump them in with your other supplies, because the likelihood of that happening is pretty high, and they go bad faster because the air gets in there and dries them out. So my recommendation is I use my tiny attacher and I staple the backer to its rub-on component portion, or the printed rub-on pieces, so that they don't come apart, and I stick them back in an envelope, or this happens to be a plastic envelope, but you could use the packaging that they came with or whatever. So that's my recommendation. But you want to keep them together, because you don't want rub-ons all over your other embellishments. So there is my completed little banner. I did ink up the edges of it a little bit. I'm really liking the way that it looks. I think it's super cute. I did add some foam from Walmart. It's just the fun foam that is adhesive on one side. I put the adhesive side onto the embellishment and then use my liquid glue to adhere it to the background. I'm also going to pop up the piece that says Family, and then I've got my little rub-on below that I'm going to put. So that's going to say Family All Together. Excuse me, you guys. Fighting a cold here. So I don't have a lot of journaling that I'm putting on here. I do have a little label piece that I'm sticking in next to that top photo, and I think that's going to be just the extent of my labeling, my journaling. So yeah, there's not going to be a ton of journaling on this one. While I go ahead and finish this one, I wanted to remind you that there's a bunch of people playing along with all of these series that I am playing along with today. So definitely go check out MK so she can see what she's done with this color scheme. And check out the playlist down below for 30 Days of Sketches and for Mixed Media Mayhem, and go and see what everyone else is doing so you can get all kinds of inspiration. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. I really appreciate the time that you've spent with me today, and I will be back again tomorrow with another video for stitches and stencils. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.